See, a big problem has become the monetization of waste, all right? Burning as much gas, as much electricity, everything else we can without actually producing anything. We're real big on that because that's big business. If, let's say, 2 million people take out a loan for $20,000 over a 5-year period, all right? At the end of which, they're all going to default, all of them. They'll all default, they'll have debt forgiveness, they'll have this or that occur. All right? Where does that money end up? The answer usually is going to be one or two things in today's economy. It's going to be in a foreign firm, or it's going to be in an energy company of some form. Be gasoline, electricity, whatnot. These morons are brainwashed in doing the same fucking circle because what we create, like these videos, for example, the use of electricity, like photographs, so on and so forth, they now all of a sudden seem to like view as evidence essentially that they do not want found. Now the funny thing about that is that's evidence of them being alive in most cases. That's the thing. That is evidence of them being alive. It's evidence of me being alive too. That's what really pisses me off. You know? See, don't I have an attractive profile whenever you cover up my aging hair and shit like that and put me in the right light? Yeah, man. The best years of my fucking life were stolen by these pieces of shit. Just cause. Just cause I got dragged along with the rest of the bastards. You know? That's the thing. Because a long time ago, people decided they were going to be greedy fucks, essentially. When they could have been greedy fucks in different ways that were more productive. You know? So what matters in this society where suddenly the workforce starts to reduce? Suddenly, like, they can't force people around in circles as much? What actually matters is personal growth. Like, whoa, people take a bunch of photos and they waste, and it's all the same shit over and over again. It's like, well, it is if that's what they make it, you know, but that's not a bad thing. You know, we were obsessed for the longest time with ancient architecture and everything else that had very little in the way of evidence of how people actually lived during a time period. Now we have the ability to record all of that, and they're busy destroying it all. You know, you might say, oh, well, cloud and blah, 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 blah. Well, hey, I'm against not fucking personally owning or a lack of personal ownership of things in the first place, okay? I think every company should run its own freaking IT sector, and if we're gonna generate waste money-wise, essentially it should be going to people who are administering those pieces of equipment and the like. And only certain applications really require something like cloud, which would normally require expensive infrastructure to be built and maintained at multiple locations for the company to be able to actually run its business and replicate its information technology services to people in that region to reduce the amount of network latency they'd be experiencing to access. You know, that's why you used to have email servers and data servers, and databases that would be mirrored essentially in websites that we mirrored in different locations, because the amount of time it took for a network signal to be sent to them and the responses we sent back was, well, greatly increased depending on where you were accessing those servers from. I remember trying to access something in freaking like Europe at one particular point, and it had taken like fucking 2 minutes way back in the fucking day just to get a fucking message that said, oh, timed out. Great. But that's neither here nor there, because the problem is we don't really have a whole lot of ways of, once we start cutting out all the bullshit jobs, once we cut out like the bullshit industries and the like, we don't really have a whole lot to say that we're growing as people, you know, we're growing as a society, except for what people write, and that's going to turn out a lot of shit. But the problem, a major problem with all of this is the way these people have monetized waste. Like, for example, when they write a book which is obviously horrible, and somehow That book sells a whole bunch of copies to begin with, and that covers the basic, covers essentially like a person's wages, essentially, for writing the piece of crap book. And then they turn around and they file bankruptcy, and now we're sitting with like, you know, 50,000 copies of a book, and the money that was put forward to essentially like put the crappy book out there has been recouped, you know, as a business loss, or if it's borrowed against, it's bankruptcy, or this or that or the other thing, but the money itself has been dropped into the economy.
Key in item 4011
in other locations.
Move your bananas to the back. 27.
So these are examples to be considered.